So let's look at cortisol. Your regular workout, an hour or less duration, does not really affect cortisol. So you're not going to have as large of an increase as you would with longer, intense exercise. But also in competition, you're going to be more keyed up. You're going to be more stressed out because of competition, plus the extra influence of your epinephrine and norepinephrine for your fight or flight. And so that can also lead to a larger increase in cortisol, and then your immune function can be depressed for up to 4 hours later. So cortisol, moderate exercise, not a huge increase, but competition and stress will cause a larger increase. Let's look at some things that, talking about exercise and anti-inflammatory effects in general. So, throughout the semester, we talked about regular exercise reduces inflammation in the body. And we also talked about anti-inflammatory foods, a diet high in fruits and vegetables, your healthy oils, fish, salmon. So regular exercise reduces inflammation. C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, those go down with exercise. We've covered that in a lot of the studies that we've reviewed. Diabetes Prevention Project, they saw decreases in interleukin-6. We'll talk about nutritional effects of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate may actually help with reducing inflammation. And of course, as we said, exercise may have its own effects, especially with C-reactive protein, interleukin-6, that are independent of weight loss. Some reductions in inflammation come with weight loss, but exercise has its own effect. If you remember the chronic diseases we talked about, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, you can probably add in there as well, along with that. And then free radicals, exercise reduces free radicals. That could lead to, it could lead to less DNA damage. You've got to have some, oxidative stress. Some free radicals are normal, but like with everything else, too much is not good. So some free radicals have to occur for muscle to be recovered, but you don't want too much. And also, like we talked about protein, do senior adults have a different mechanism? Are these effects blunted in senior adults? And then what can we do to try to alter these and help bring these back to better function? So when they look at things like interventions in exercise, zinc, vitamin C, vitamin E, they really have not done a whole lot to depress inflammation overall. But there are some data for carbohydrate supplements. So something simple like Gatorade can actually reduce interleukin-6 and cortisol. So, something not expensive, and that's available in your supermarket. It doesn't really do anything for any of the other factors like natural killer cells or immunoglobulins, but Gatorade can help reduce your inflammation 6 after exercise, and it's something that everybody's familiar with and has access to. Now, especially this time of year, what do you do if you have a cold? Upper respiratory infection. Having a cold and exercising, it's not going to hurt you, but it doesn't do anything to lessen the cold. You're still going to have a cold, 7 to 10 days, and exercise is not going to affect that. You can resume your exercise when you feel better. And then, but if you have a fever, if you've got the flu, if you've had strep throat, swollen glands, then you definitely need to resume your exercise gradually. I mean, remember Dr. Neiman talked about a person who ran a marathon while they had a fever, and they were sick for a really, really long time. They developed almost like an autoimmune type disease from that. So you got to take fever seriously and definitely get some downtime. Other studies, and looking at Blackboard, a lot of interest in gut bacteria and what we've done to alter our gut bacteria. What does this mean for people with inflammatory bowel disease and for runners? So this is a really hot area in exercise science. And sedentary behavior and TV viewing, led to increased C-reactive protein. Now that makes sense. People who watch a lot of TV are definitely less active, and they tend to also have probably other poor health behaviors because they probably eat while they watch TV. So study your moderate versus intense exercise. So moderate exercise is usually protective. Intense exercise can depress your immune. Understand the open window concept. And then competition adds to the stress. Exercise doesn't, moderate exercise training does reduce your inflammation. And understand the role of Gatorade and carbohydrate. There. And again, we just talked about that one, so you can figure that one out on your own.